welcome to the channel. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Join me on today's video where I will be reviewing the San Martin SN004 vintage diver. This is the version 3. They have done a fair few versions, and also when you do go on the store you'll see quite a few different dial options. The newest dial option they have is this really nice brown golden leatherette style dial, and they also have changed the handset on this one. So like myself, if you've seen this watch being reviewed a little too many times, you can switch off pretty early in this video, because the only difference is it is new pencil style hands. They're golden, they're polished, they look great. However, if you want to stick around, I'll do this review slightly differently. I'm just going to cover the good, the bad, and any QC issues. Now, before I get there, let's stop for a couple of minutes and talk about this packaging. Now, while I was very impressed with this packaging, how it's designed, how it's made, I did have a few different concerns from a lot of subscribers, which did kind of take me back, but in a positive way. A lot of people did say that this is quite irresponsible from San Martin to make plastic packaging, especially with the impact to the environment. And you know, of course, with dive watches, that's what we review here, and a lot of you guys do go out diving and you've seen firsthand the impact of, you know, environmental waste pollution. So I think that's a very valid point. So it looks like Greta is finally getting through to people. But in all seriousness, I think it is a valid issue. I think not just watches, I think everybody should be a bit more thoughtful with just trying to have less of an impact on the environment. You know, it's the topic that is coming up again and again. So yeah, while this is all good, you know, I think, yeah, I get it, it's not very sustainable and does pollute the environment. However, if you're someone like myself, you don't throw all these boxes away, you just keep them. And if you come to sell your watches, you sell them with the boxes, then, you know, I suppose that's less of an impact, right? But that aside, let's crack on with this watch. Now, I gotta say, I absolutely adore this watch. I've been admiring it for such a long time, but I didn't get it for a review because, as I said, it's been kind of reviewed to death. Very popular watch. They've sold this in the hundreds, maybe they're even touching the thousands now. Now, when this came in, I was this far from throwing this watch in the bin. The bracelet, right, this resizing thing is an absolute ache, such a pain. It's by far the hardest bracelet I've resized. These two stupid little things that they give, they're absolutely useless. But you know, I'm not going to talk too much about it. Let me show you a video I made straight after I resized this, or while I was resizing it, and you can really get a sense of my frustration. All right, rant time. Thank you very much, San Martin. Look what the actual hell is here. This will have to go through to size up this stupid bracelet. And we've got this rivet style bracelet. If you don't know, it's the San Martin SN004, whatever it is. It's that vintage diver, and it comes with this ridiculous rivet style bracelet. Looks amazing, looks brilliant, but you know, this is the contraption I've had to use to try and take some links out. Now these are those double-ended screws. They give you these short, stubby ass screwdrivers, which do not help anyone. But yeah, so you know what, this is what I'm doing here, and I've had to jam this knife in. And knowing me, you know what, why should I have a straightforward knife, right? Why should I have a straightforward Swiss style knife? I gotta have some contraption like this, which makes it even more difficult, or a contraption like this. Ridiculous. So basically, jam your knife into the head of the screw there, but use a much bigger screw, because you need to get that torque. Let's see if I can do it here, and let's have a look there. I've kind of more or less ruined a couple of links, but yeah, thank you very much, San Martin. Great build, so practical. I mean, you shouldn't have to go through this to bloody just size up a damn bracelet. Well, that's the gist, and I really got to concentrate to get that open. Having done that, I managed to remove 2 links from one side, and now I've got to go remove another 2 links from the other. So I'm absolutely beyond annoyed. Tried doing it yesterday, I'm back at it today, and this is my rant. I feel like just throwing the watch away, in all honesty, but I'm going to keep going through and get it done. Yeah, so I ended up just using a knife that I clamped down to the table, and I used basically the slits in the screws here, placed them onto the knife, and I managed to do it with a much bigger screwdriver, because you need that torque to get these screws off, because Loctite has been used to secure the screw heads. So I think it's unnecessary. So let's start off the review like that. Let's talk about the bad, the good, and any QC issues. So let's hit the bad. First thing I will mention, as you just saw my rant or my little meltdown that I was having, bracelet, annoying. Not really needed at all. You shouldn't make a bracelet that difficult to resize. I did stab myself as well, which I think quite a few people have. And the fact that people have had to make videos on how to resize it just shows how difficult it is. So I'd say, yeah, there's no need. Pagani Design do similar bracelets to this. Of course, they use 4 rivets. I do not care as long as, I can resize it. They use screws, normal screws, and to be honest, they do really well. But yeah, okay, I get it. It's something different, something quite unique to this watch. From AliExpress, they try to do something amazing. I totally get it, but it's just annoying. I don't like that at all. Second thing is the dial. Now, hear me out. I don't rate San Martin dials. I think San Martin get away with using really, really simple dials. If you're a modder like myself, if you go on AliExpress and you look at all these aftermarket dials, this kind of dial in particular and these greyed out, very basic dials are very, very cheap. Now, this dial, you can justify this because it really does suit the watch aesthetic. Fits the watch really well. Of course, it's that vintage retro sort of look. So I don't really mind this too much. I like the font, I like the script, and yeah, it's actually perfect. However, they are very cheap. San Martin are really pushing the prices up. This one was going to set you back around $240 or £175, possibly a little bit cheaper in the 11/11 sale, but they really need to up the game on the dials now. But on this model, they did. I think with that leatherette style dial, I think that's the best dial they've done because it's something so different, something textured. And a lot of the dials are very basic. Heimdallr, Steel Dive, I can think of so many other brands that do have much better dials. And it's, again, not a lot of money they need to really spend to get a dial that just really pops. So that's the second one. Third thing I don't like, I absolutely hate this logo. Yes, it's S for San Martin, but it looks like a cheap $sign. I don't want to see that at all. It totally destroys the look of this watch. Myself, I don't really mind signed crowns at all. I don't think they add anything particular to the watch. But yeah, now this is where again San Martin are pushing those price boundaries. They want to be recognized as a micro brand, and this is something still that they suffer with, is brand inconsistencies in terms of logos. They still are using the hex logo, they're using the shark logo, and now they got this silly bugger in here, which is this $sign. It's got no place on the watch. I think a few people have said it's an absolute deal breaker. Not for myself because you hardly see that, but yeah, it just looks ridiculous on there. Now, there's another thing with the crown. It is quite slim. I understand why, that vintage look again, and just to really give the case a really nice profile. However, it does clash with the bezel. So if you're trying to rotate it like this, you have to kind of change your thumb position to basically screw this out and in. So that's the only thing there. Now, the last one is the end links. So now San Martin have released female end links. They released them a fair few months ago now. So I got this from them pretty recently as I done the unboxing. So yeah, that's when I got the watch. And I think they should be supplying these watches with the female end links, and they shouldn't be an optional extra. Like I said, you're paying over $200, and that's the least they can chuck in basically. Now, I don't know if the new ones do come with this. Maybe this was some new old stock, who knows? But yeah, it's definitely something that should be included. Okay, now, bad things out of the way. Let's talk about the good things. What do I really like about this watch? Basically everything else. I still do like it. I like the bezel insert, the gold and black. I like that pip, how they've integrated it within the ceramic bezel insert. That is quite particular to them. They've been doing that ever since they created the V2 sub homage. I absolutely like the look of the bezel. I think really well finished. You can see these different facets or chamfers, and you've got brushing, polishing, and I think that's they nailed the bezel spot on. Let's check the rotation. Yep, very precise, tactile, great feedback, great resistance, and there are a few things that San Martin absolutely nail, and you can't really knock them for that at all. I like the aesthetics, so like I said, the look of this dial does absolutely suit the watch. There's no doubt about that. The feel of the crown is nice as well, and the main thing for me, which San Martin I feel do better than most brands out there, and this is what really sets them apart, is the finishing. The finishing on this watch again is spectacular. So Let's go across, just look at that linear brushing there, and you've got that polished highlight, that beveled edge, which I absolutely love. In fact, I've been seeing a lot more cases like this. I just love seeing them. You've got this satinized brushing across the side, very fine indeed, and you can feel that silky smooth feeling in your hand, and that finishing just really stands out so much when you do look at the watch. Case back's box standard, nothing really special there, but that finishing is stunning. That bracelet also, the finishing goes across to the bracelet. I absolutely love the new bracelets, and as I've said, they seem to have nailed this finishing and the basically case design, and you can just see that linear brushing, very, very smooth. Just check that out. Awesome. You see that scratch from when I had a mishap while resizing it, but let's not go there again. Polished side links, polished edges to those links, again giving that little bit of light reflection. Clasp, I like the new clasps, very nice. And again, going back to inconsistencies, that hex logo, then you got this bloody dollar sign, but yeah, love that logo, love the light play that you get off it. Great bracelet. Yes, no dive extension. Maybe you can start throwing one in now. I think they need to make that happen next. And decent fit, not the best, which goes on to the only QC gripe I have. You can see it just kind of, there's a bit of a gap there. It's only tiny, but because St. Martin do pride themselves on being absolutely amazing, and you find a lot of reviewers do talk really highly about them, you expect perfection or close to perfection. So yeah, that's the only thing there, but it is the pin is seated correctly. It's just like that. Yeah, so I like everything else about it, and that's that really. In terms of QC, as I mentioned, just that little gap there, and I did in the unboxing show just a touch of back play. That was me really just pushing the bezel beyond. So if I really press hard, I can get it to move back slightly, but there literally is no back play. It doesn't move. Very, very solid and great QC from St. Martin as always. Let's go ahead, let's check the loom out. So the loom is really good. Even though it's that old radium starter loom, I've said it on many watches that this loom doesn't usually burn quite bright. It is quite a dull loom. However, they have applied enough layers on this. You can see this is probably the brightest this style of loom that I have seen. So that's a huge plus point for St. Martin. It's actually really good. Very evenly applied, nice and thick, and so very impressed by that. Well done to St. Martin. Now, other thing which I do really love about this watch is just the dimensions. I think they are near enough perfect. You've got a 39mm diameter, a 45.5mm lug to lug, minus the lug to lug including those male end links, a thickness of 13.2 due to this slightly top hat domed sapphire crystal, and a 20mm lug width on the bracelet. Yeah, other than that, I think it's overall great, apart from the few little moans I had earlier on. Sorry, wrist shot. What have I got today? I'm wearing the Seig Monster Generation 2. So let's get this on wrist. I do have a 6.5-inch wrist, and there we go. Great fit and finish. Even without those female end links, it does sit really nicely on the wrist. But my point is, if they are supplying them, let's just get them on all the new models that they are releasing. So there we go. Very comfortable. I wore this for a fair few days. I really enjoyed wearing it. Like I said, comfortable, stands out. This really fine brushing catches just so much light, and it just looks fantastic. I really do like that. That's it from me, guys, today. Nice and easy review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll leave the links to the watch within the description. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll see you on the next video.